What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. And today we're going to discuss Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the newest season coming, Hashira training. Now, this new season that's coming in about a month has sparked a lot of debate and confusion on the internet just based off of how Ufotable has prepared us for it, which is zero. And I'm not saying that's bad. People are making it way more crazy than it is because this is how Ufotable has always been. They always wait to announce the episode count until the season has begun. They always don't really reveal much during promotional reels. This is all very normal to them. I don't think that's really anything to be worried about. However, it is interesting because this arc definitely has the biggest question mark as to how they're going to handle it. Now, before I really get started as why it's like that, I do just want to say that I'm going to steer clear of manga spoilers during this video. However, I'll do a few very gray area manga spoilers like episode length, chapter lengths, that sort of thing. If you don't want to know anything and head into the new season completely blind and you're an anime only, this video might not be for you. However, I'm not going to say anything insanely spoilery at all. I am also going to talk a little bit about episode 1, which has been released in theaters in America since the end of February. So if you haven't seen that, I am going to be discussing things that happened in that episode. So just keep that in mind. They're not really manga spoilers because the episode has been viewed by millions of people. But if you haven't been able to see it and you're waiting for the season to come out on Crunchyroll, just keep that in mind as I will be referring to that episode throughout this video. Alright, so let's get into it. Why is everyone confused? Well, I don't know if confused is the right word. I wouldn't say I'm confused. I'm more just interested to see how they handle this. The main thing is the Hashira training arc, which is the only arc that they're saying this is going to be, is 9 chapters long. And now the common chapters to episode is 3 chapters per episode. That's the way they usually adapt. Sometimes they do closer to 2 or 2.5. Sometimes they do a little bit more than 3. But the very common thing is 3. Now, episode 1 covered about 3.5. It's kind of hard to say because they did move some things around. However, if we were really going off of what they commonly do, that would mean we have 2 more episodes this season. Now, I'm not saying they're not going to do that. They very well could. I don't think they are because no matter how I see it, I just don't think that's a very smart decision. Why would they make this arc a standalone arc when it's only going to be 1 hour-long episode and then 2 normal-length episodes? Doing that right before an arc that is as important as the one next to it, in fact, it's the most important arc in the entire story, it's not a great idea. Like, they could really lose a lot of viewers after this arc if they did it that way. People would be like, they're just milking it, I'm kind of tired of this. This arc is not super action-packed, not super heavy on emotions or life or death or anything like that. So a lot of the people that watch Demon Slayer for those super high intense action sequences are not going to love this arc. But the thing is that Ufotable is doing what they always do. They always release things arc to arc. They've done that since the beginning. Even though season 1 felt like it was multiple arcs, it was technically all the Kamado Tanjiro Unwavering Resolve arc, and it just had a lot of mini battles within. And then we had Mugen Train as one arc, Entertainment District as one arc, and Swordsmith Village as one arc. They don't tend to air multiple arcs per season. But Hashira Training was the one that I thought was most obviously going to be tacked on somewhere because of its length. It's super short, and it is extremely important, but does it deserve its own standalone arc? I don't know. But we're going to talk a little bit about my theories on what they're going to do, what I think the episode count is, and what y'all can expect moving forward. So my biggest theory is that they are going to add a lot of anime original content. For those of you who don't know, the first 5 minutes of the first episode of Hashira Training, where we see Sanemi and Obanai fight a bunch of demons and end up in the Infinity Castle, that entire scene was anime original. Us manga readers had never seen that scene ever before in our lives. So that already kind of lends itself to say that they're probably adding a lot to this arc. That doesn't mean that they're just gonna make every single episode have 10 minutes of original content, but they definitely have the time to do that. Also, I think the moment with Kanao right after that where she like talks to Shinobu was also anime original. I don't remember that being in the manga either, and I don't know if that's just me being forgetful or if that was just not there either. But if it told me anything, it told me that yes, Ufotable is 100% going to be adding new content. And there's a couple ways they could do this. Number one is that they have 3 canon novels that they can choose from to pick any of the stories in it and add it to the anime. Now, I will say the third one doesn't really have, I think, any stories that take place during Hashira training, but the second one, almost the entire book takes place during Hashira training. They could honestly adapt every single one of those chapters into anime, and it could be a lot of fun. Now, I don't think they're going to for every single one because at least one of them took place already. Like, it took place in between the time that they all arrived at the Butterfly Mansion and Tanjiro waking up. So it was while Tanjiro was still in his like week-long slumber. So we've already seen past that. I don't think they're gonna go back and show it unless they're gonna do an episode very much dedicated to Genya, because this chapter was dedicated to Genya. And I freaking loved it. I was really, really hoping we would get that in the anime, but I'm not giving up hope yet. It might still pop up. But there were so many chapters in this book that took place during this time. In fact, I think all but one took place during this, and the one that didn't could technically still be used during this time. It was just during an undisclosed time. The material in the books, however, are not actually written by Gotoge Sensei, the mangaka. They're written by someone else that was proofread by Gotoge Sensei, so I don't know if they're actually going to have those be in the anime when they're not originally written by them. However, I would say that they've already added quite a lot of anime original content that wasn't necessarily written by Gotoge Sensei, so they very much could. But they've got that material there, and if they really want to stretch out the season, they could absolutely use it. There's also side manga stories. There's one called The Tale of Water and Flame. The Tales of Water and Flame. It's 2 like actual manga chapters, not like a novel like the other 3 that I was just talking about. And they follow Giyu and Rengoku. The one for Giyu actually takes place like right after he met the Kamado siblings for the first time, so it was kind of actually interesting to see what happened directly after that. And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't read Rengoku's yet. I don't know why. I just bought the book recently and I read Giyu's and then had to do something and I just forgot to read Rengoku's, but I'm going to read it. However, each one of these could really be adapted as well. Ufotable loves Rengoku. They know that the audience loves Rengoku and they keep adding him in wherever they can. I wouldn't be surprised if they managed to add him in somewhere into this arc. That's most of the material that they could use, but outside of that, they could also just add a lot of anime original that is not in any other content. Something that I was thinking of is they could really slow things down and have each visit with each Hashira an entire episode. Now, some of these go by really fast, like in a few pages, so they would really have to stretch things out, and that's where you start to get to the point where it's like, alright, maybe we're stretching things out a little bit too much and we need to like move along here. But it is an opportunity because if, let's say, we start doing 1 Hashira per episode once Tanjiro starts training, that would mean he's got to get through Tengen, he's got to get through Muichiro, then Mitsuri, then Obanai, then Sanemi, and then Gyomei. So there's... Did I count right? Tengen, Muichiro, Mitsuri. Tengen, Muichiro, Mitsuri. Obanai, Sanemi, Gyomei? Yeah, because it's just Giyu and Shinobu that aren't taking part. Okay, so that's a whole 6 episodes if they really choose to do it that way. Are they going to do it that way? I don't know, but it's all an option. Now, there's a theory, and this is more my husband's theory that I feel like I have to address, is that he thinks that Ufotable's just pulling the wool over our eyes and we're going to get a pretty decent chunk of Infinity Castle in this arc as well. I don't really think that's the case because that would be way out of character for them. They are only advertising Hashira training I think we're only getting Hashira training. And even with that, the end of Hashira training, no matter what way you look at it, is going to end on a huge cliffhanger. The season itself is going to be pretty calm and chill, but the final episode is going to be insanity. And that's going to keep people watching. But I don't think it's going to go really past the beginning of the next arc. If it does, I won't complain because the next arc is incredible, but I would be very surprised if they did that. And that's setting aside the whole leak that it's going to be a movie trilogy for the arc after this one. But it's something to keep in the back of your mind. They might just decide to surprise us and say, hey, here's a bunch of the next arc. Congratulations. I don't know why I said congratulations, but... So there are a lot of options with this arc. I think that this really begins the time where Ufotable can add a lot of stuff, can add a lot of character interactions, some side stories, and they all will still move forward with the plot, depending on how they write it in. But they might have a lot of creative freedom with this season, and I can see it definitely still being longer than 3 episodes. So that's my perfect segue into my predictions on this season and how long it's actually going to be. So if I could pinpoint it, I would say it would be in the 6 to 8 episode range. I think if they stretch it out and do their regular 11 episode season, I think at that point we will get so stretched out that we'll just be like, can we move on from this arc? Because it really has a lot of important stuff in it, but there still is a lot of just not exciting things happening. Granted, I love this arc, and it's a lot of people's favorites arc, more because it's so chill compared to all the others. It literally is the calm before the storm. I don't think that stretching it to a full 11 episode season is the smartest idea. They're already getting a lot of flack for milking. If they make this season 11 episodes, it's gonna kind of be insane milking. But I think one of the reasons why it's not coming out until May is quite simply because it's going to be shorter. I think they're still planning on the season ending around the same time. And my reason for that is because of Anime Expo. Now, Anime Expo is an American event. It's in Los Angeles. I went last year, I'll be going again this year. I don't see them continuing to air it past the weekend of Anime Expo, which is 4th of July, because I would assume they want to have a panel at Anime Expo where they can discuss the entire anime season fully, not just part of it because it's still airing. Now, do I think that Anime Expo is that important to them? Probably not. However, it is the biggest anime convention in America, and America is quickly becoming a very, very, very big fandom for them. So I think that they still think about it and are like, we should have it done before then. Am I right in this? Probably not. And they're definitely not going to not be there, because Demon Slayer's panel had 4,000 people inside that room, and I heard thousands of people couldn't even get into it. Anime Expo is by far probably their most important event in America. So with that, do I think it's gonna end the same weekend as it did last year in June? Probably not, because it's not starting until May 12th. However, I could see it ending at the very end of June. So I think it was 7, 8 episodes or something along those lines. I don't know, I'm not looking at a calendar right now, but that would be my best assumption. Plenty of time to get a little bit extra time with each one of these characters, to dive into the backstories that we get this season a little bit more, but not so much time that we're just kind of like, oh my gosh, get to the point. That's my prediction. And then when this season ends, we'll finally know, is Infinity Castle going to be a movie trilogy, or is it going to be a season? We're finally gonna figure that out. All right, y'all, but those are my predictions as far as what Hashira training arc is going to be. We are 1 month out. I'm super excited to have it back on my screen. If you liked this video, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video. Leave your predictions onto how many episodes this season is gonna be in the comments down below so I can see what y'all are thinking. If you agree, disagree, just make sure if you disagree, you stay respectful about it, okay? All right. Also, don't forget to like this video. That helps it get to the algorithm of Demon Slayer lovers that I'm trying so hard to reach. And don't forget to follow me on all my social medias. I am @LookingNerdy on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, X, Again, I said Twitter. I'm just gonna keep calling it Twitter. If you want to see my cosplays and all the cool stuff, or just hear my thoughts about random things, go ahead and follow me on those social medias. And also, if you're a big fan of Demon Slayer, I run a podcast with my two friends, Emily and Brian, called the Hashira Half Hour. If you want some more super long form videos that are just us discussing things, click the link in my description and make sure you subscribe to all of that as well. But we wait. We're gonna find out someday what this is gonna be. Johnny!